Faster than a speeding bullet? More powerful than a locomotive? Able to leap tall buildings in a single bound? It's surprisingly quaint next to the stuff he does later. And also, it's Superman. Welcome back to They Call Me Uncle. Today we're comparing the twin origin stories found in Action Comics #1 and Superman #1 to the Man of Steel's very long history in film and video. Action Comics #1 was written by Jerome Jerry Siegel with art by Joe Shuster. Superman #1 was done by the same guys, essentially retelling Superman's origins while fleshing them out, adding a ton of the details most of us know by now. Both start with a distant planet dying of old age, but only named Krypton in Superman #1. With a single survivor escaping on a spacecraft. As spacecraft are often wont to do, it crash lands on Earth. Sometimes in Russia, sometimes in Gotham City, but almost always in the Midwest. From there, the alien child is discovered by passing motorists, later retconned into the Kent family. In both comics, they just leave him at an orphanage, where he probably terrifies the hell out of the other children with his abnormal feats of strength. So eventually the Kents just adopt him themselves.
And convince Mr. Warner to let us adopt him ourselves.
As they raise their new freak of nature, they discover he can leap an eighth of a mile and hurdle a 20-story building. Though technically that wasn't flying yet.
That was falling with style.
He can raise tremendous weights, run faster than an express train, and nothing less than a bursting shell could penetrate his skin. Which was all much more impressive sounding in 1938. They named the boy Clark Kent. Although the argument could be made that's his cover name because his birth name is Kal-El, but why split hairs?
Superman was born Superman. The glasses, the business suit, that's the costume.
At some point the Kents pass away, or at least one of them does, sometimes neither of them. But anyway, Superman leaves home as champion of the oppressed, complete with the costume we all know and love.
Hey, Jim! Whoa!
Excuse me.
That's a bad outfit!
They also perhaps needlessly explained his powers. Apparently his strength is like an ant lifting several times its weight or whatever. But hey, why not? And now for our adaptation countdown. Tied for 6th with 11 points are Superman from 1940 and Smallville from 2001. The 1940 animated version left out the Kents altogether. Smallville obviously kept the Kents, but it left out all the building jumping and of course the costume, though in its defense those were deliberate choices that paid off later. Like, very last episode later. Coming in 5th with 14 points is My Adventures with Superman from 2023. A series clearly influenced by anime for better or worse, though it deserves some kudos. Jack Quaid is about the last person on Earth you'd cast as Superman, which actually kinda works in his favor in voicing Clark Kent. In 4th place with 15 points is The Adventures of Superman from 1952. At 3rd with 16 points is the beloved Superman the Animated Series from 1996. The origin itself is told in 3 parts. The Kents dodge their deaths, and the orphanage part is skipped altogether. Tied for 2nd place with 17 points are 4 different titles. Superman 48, Superman 88, 2013's Man of Steel, and Superman and Lois. Only Superman 88 actually showed young Supes at the orphanage, implying that the Kents less adopted him than abducted him. Just plucked him off the road, really. Coming in at #1 with 18 points.
I do like the one where Lois Lane falls from the helicopter and Superman swooshes down and catches her. Which one was that?
Richard Donner's Superman in 1978. Missing only the orphanage and Ma Kent's fate from the comics, the film checks every other box we have, giving you the most faithful version of Action Comics #1 of the 10 we reviewed. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.